with no aftertaste. Mick Dry refreshes completely. The good time, great taste of McDonald's. And by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.
Some of the desert beauty and the many varieties of cacti that abound. And while there's been a plethora of cacti, Henry, there's been a dearth of scoring. No score here early in the second quarter.
You can talk about the scoring drives in the first part.
As we start the second quarter, there were no scoring drives in the first quarter.
Your responsibility.
Phoenix has it second down and 3 in a huge hole. Earl Farrell gets the first down and then some as he gets to the 36 before Clyde Simmons, 96, brings him down. Farrell at 250 pounds and only 6 feet tall is a load to the ground load. He's carried 4 times for 18 yards now.
You talk about a rolling manhole cover. That's what he is. He's tough to tackle.
He's a big Charlie Toller.
One-on-one coverage in the outside would be a good time to get up on top.
Jordan can't get outside. He gets maybe a yard to the 35 before he's driven back. Al Harris, 95.
You know, one thing about the Eagles, I think anytime that you see them in a bump and run or a one-for-one coverage, I think maybe you have about 10 opportunities to make big plays in a game like this. And I think when you see that, you have to go up on top and try to make something happen and try to get a big play. You might not catch the ball, but you might have pass interference or something, but you still have to try to get up on top and make that big play.
Extra DBs now in for Philadelphia on second down and 8. That snap, but Tupa handled it. Overthrown and intercepted. Isel Jenkins picks it off at about the 2-yard line, and Philadelphia will turn Phoenix away again.
He tried to throw the ball in the seam, which is an area right inside the numbers. The pass protection is good, but if it made up his mind, he's going to throw the ball in the seam, and Jenkins on the outside got a great jump on the ball. I think anytime that you throw the ball deep downfield like that, the defensive back has a chance to recover about 20 yards. He got a good jump and made the interception. A great play by Jenkins, the left corner, number 46.
Buddy Ryan calls him Crazy Cat, I guess after the cartoon character of the same name. Now the fans want some work from their Phoenix defense as Philadelphia tries to bang it out of there. No gain and maybe a loss of a half a yard. Tony had nowhere to run except right into Tim McDonald and David Galloway.
Now, one thing about the Cardinals, they use a 4-3 defense, so they don't change very much. 2 people on the guards, 2 people on the ends, and look at the middle linebacker fill. Look at the way they fill the hole. But they say, here, we're going to line up. We're not going to do anything fancy. You lick us. You knock us off the line of scrimmage. Oh, safety.
The first points of the game scored on a safety as Carl Wilson drags down Tony in the end zone.
Here it is from the end zone now, going outside, and Carl Wilson comes through there and makes the tackle deep right in the middle of the end zone. It's a safety. But here again, in that part of the field, we talked about it earlier, it's very difficult to run outside against the Cardinals, and especially in that particular situation with bad field position, you have to give a lot of credit to the Cardinals, the way they played it, and of course, Carl Wilson, number 90, who made the tackle.
Just outstanding penetration by the third-year defensive end from LSU. 12:54 to go in the second quarter, and it is 2-0. Phoenix leading Philadelphia. I guess, Hank, in a game where defense is dominated, it would be appropriate that the first points would be scored by the defense.
Well, the Cardinals, if they're going to win this game, the turnover factor is going to be very, very important, and they must play on a shorter field than the opposition. You know, if you run a 100-yard race and one guy has to run 100 yards and you just run 40, I don't care if you're Jesse Owens, you're not going to win that race. And so that's what they have to do, and they got a good break that time, and they get 2 points on the board, and they're still going to wind up with the ball after the safety.
One of the things that Buddy Ryan and the Eagles were most concerned about, and you just brought it up, Henry, the 4-3 defense that Phoenix plays about 90% of the time. It's so different from the norm to play that 4-3 almost exclusively that they were concerned about going against it, running against it in particular.
Well, you know, the 4-3 is a basic defense of the National Football League for 50 years, really. But everybody's kind of gotten away from it with different alignments, as you know, Steve, overshifts, undershifts. They used to do an awful lot of that, but they don't do nearly as much of it anymore. They just line up and say they're going to stunt some, but they line up and say, listen, this is where we are, you lick us. We're not going to beat ourselves.
So John Telchik will have a free kick from the 20, and as happens in most cases, the Eagles elect to punt.
You know, Telchik, talking to him yesterday, said they didn't kick one kick all week long in practice because of that bad knee.
His punting so far has been acceptable in this game by Sikahema. This is not a good kick, however. Sikahema trying to get out from behind a wall. Can't do it. Ty Allard brings him down. But good field position for the Cardinals at their own 47, 1st and 10. Let's go back and take a look at the safety. Carl Wilson coming almost, I guess, untouched. He was back there about the same time the ball got to Tony.
Well, look how wide he is. Look how wide he is. The right of your screen. And the back went right by him. He was supposed to block him on the play because he was so wide. He didn't go for him. He went for the linebacker instead. Left Wilson wide open, and he made the sack. Or made the tackle.
Tom Tufet, quarterback. As Earl Farrell comes in motion. Jordan. I'm telling you, Al Harris just refused to be blocked. Earl Farrell's job was to block 95 Al Harris, and Harris would have none of it.
You know, they call that a stretch play. That's the play that Cincinnati ran so well last year. You run off toward the end, and then go off of his block and try to get outside. As you mentioned, why the defensive linebacker on that play really did a great job of containing it and making the tackle.
Harris was going to turn it in no matter what. The ball at the 48. Gain of 1. 2nd down and 9. Yes, it's 2-0 Cardinal. Ball in motion. Complete. And what an acrobatic catch by Ernie Jones. A 26-yard gain. Andre Waters, the strong safety, was with him, but Ernie Jones, who Hogaboom said has all the tools to be great.
The key here, watch now, he goes to the outside and moves the pocket a little bit, buys a little time, has plenty of time to throw the ball, and drops it right in the middle of the air, in the middle of the field there to Jones, who makes the fine catch, and they got great field position. But again, the key was the movement to the outside to get away from the inside pressure.
Ernie Jones with a big career at Indiana, now in his 2nd year. Take on 1st down, Tupa to throw. And he picks up good yardage before getting out of bounds. Down around the 18. Earl Farrell with a good block for him.
And there again, great judgment on the part of Tom Tupa. You know, he fakes inside, play action fake, with the idea that you're going to throw the ball outside, but nobody was there. He decided to take off and run. And again, a lot of young quarterbacks would have thrown the ball up on top possibly and had an interception. But he has still possession of the ball and good field position.
Tupa credits Neil Lomax, who of course is out with his arthritic hip problem, for helping him a great deal, even though he has not been the main man in practice. 2nd and 3. Farrell. Al Harris drags him down, but it looks like Farrell has the 1st down inside the 15. And the Cardinals are really doing a good job of moving the ball, Hank. This really, though, has not been their problem. Their offense has done a pretty good job.
Yeah, they have. They really have. The problem has been, really, the big problem has been a turnover.
Herschel Walker with a big day in his debut in Minnesota, leading